Alright everyone, today's lesson we're going to talk about a unit of time. Alright, so times in minutes and seconds is based on the number 16. So it's not based on number 100. So it's based on number 16. Other units of time, including the day and the years, are defined by the rate at which the Earth spins on its axis and the time that Earth takes to orbit the Sun. So the standard unit of time is seconds. So there are a few more points we have to talk about this lesson here. So the first point is the standard unit of time is the second. So that's the standard unit of time. And then we have other units of time, including minutes, hours, day, week, fortnight, year, months, and we can have like a centuries or decades. And then it's all based on the conversions that we need to know this lesson here. All right, so we need to know some conversions between seconds to minutes, and from minutes to hours, and hours to days, and vice versa. So the first thing I would like to do is to create a flow chart for you to actually understand how to converting seconds, minutes, and hours, because they're all based on the number 60. All right. So we'll start with this chart here. We'll start with the smaller unit on the left hand side. So second. From second to minute. All right. So from second to minute. We know that in 1 minute we have 60 seconds. So if I want to convert from minute to second, you're going to multiply the number by 60. So like for example, 1 minute is equivalent to 60 seconds. So if it's 2 minutes, then you do 2 times by 60, that gives you 120 seconds. All right, so if I want to convert backwards, all right, from seconds to minutes, we're going to divide everything by 60. And from minutes to seconds, we'll multiply by 60. So therefore that gives you some idea about how do I convert it from a larger unit to a smaller unit. So a larger unit, for example, minutes to seconds, we're going to multiply. And from a smaller unit to a larger unit, we're going to divide. All right, so 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. Then the next unit after minute is hours. All right, so how do we convert into hours? Well, again, we know that 60 hours is equal to 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. So if I want to convert from hour to minutes, it is going to be the same conversion times by 60. And if I want to convert this one backwards, minutes to hours, we divide the number by 60. All right, so this is the conversion rate between seconds, minutes, and hours. Now let's keep going. How do we do days? Hours to days. We know that we have roughly about 24 hours in a day. And we do have a slightly more than 24 hours, and that's a reason why we have leap years every 4 years. So we do have a slightly more than 24 hours a day. But to make this a bit easier for our calculation in maths, we assume that we've got 24 hours, exactly 24 hours in a day. Okay, so from hours to days, we're going to divide the number by 24. So this time it's not by 60, it's by 24. And then from days to hours, we know we have exactly 24 hours, just for easy conversion, 24 hours in a day. So we'll times by 24. All right, now we'll keep going. All right, days, then we can do weeks. All right, how do I convert days to weeks or weeks to days? We know we have 7 days in a week. So that's easy, we times by 7. And then if I want to convert from days to weeks, we divide it by 7. So that's really easy to understand here. All right, now, so this tricky one is how do I convert from weeks to months? So this is a tricky one here. All right, because sometimes the student will probably say, oh, that's pretty easy. According to the calendar, there are roughly, 4 weeks in a month. So can I just simply times months by 4 so we can convert it into weeks? Well, the answer here is not correct, okay? What's the reason? If you want to count, right? If you do take our calendar and you count, we have 52 weeks in a year, okay? 52 weeks in a year. Then we start to think about how many months we have, all right? We have 12 months in a year, right? So let's just write months here. And we'll write year here. Yes. All right, let's do this little calculation. If you're assuming that, 1 month is equivalent to 4 weeks, then we have 12 months in a year, and that is equivalent to 12 times by 4, which is equal to 48 weeks, which is less than 52 weeks in a year, all right? Because we know that 12 months is equal to 1 year. However, that's the problem here. That does not equal to 52 weeks. So as you can see here, for some months we do have more than 4 weeks. We have like 4 weeks plus a few days. So you can't just say, oh, we've got 4 weeks in a month. All right, so that's not the correct calculation, or that's not the correct conversions here. All right, so how do we do this? So what we need to do is, how do we convert from years to weeks? All right, we'll go from here. All right, so years to months is times by 12. That's easy. And then we can go from years to weeks. We multiply by 52. And then, as you can see, this is incorrect. So let me just remove all of this. All right. So if we're going to go backwards from months to years, we divide by 12. And from weeks to years, we divide by 52. All right, then. How do I convert, let's say, weeks to years? Weeks to months. What we need to do is we need to convert weeks to years, and then we go from years to months. That's how we do it, okay? Let me show you. If we want to convert from weeks to months, what we need to do is we need to go from weeks to years first, and then we're going backwards from years to months. That's the idea how to do it. We can't go straight from weeks to months. All right, in the later example, I would like to show you how to do it properly. But this is a very important chart I want you to remember. And these are the common units of time. So please remember this. All right. Now, the next important information that you guys need to know is, how about this, like the units of time that's smaller than seconds? All right, we can't have like time that's less than a second. All right, so units of time smaller than a second. All right, so the first one is millisecond. All right. This is less than a second, which is equal to 0.001 seconds. Okay, so that makes like 1,000 milliseconds is equal to 1 second. So think about like, divide 1 second into 1,000 little pieces, okay? And you just take one little part, and that's milliseconds. I'll say this is such a short time, I can't even count, right? Like 1 second is easy to count, but milliseconds, you have to divide that 1 second into 100 little, chunk of times, and then you have to, just take one part of it, all right? That's milliseconds. All right, so the next one is the microsecond. And that is 0.000001 seconds. Wow. So that means like 1 million microseconds is equal to 1 second. All right, later I would like to show you how to do the conversion. All right, so the last one is nanoseconds. Oops. All right, so the nanoseconds is 0.00000 and another 3 zeros, 1 second. All right, so that's 1 billion nanoseconds is equal to 1 second. All right, so how do we remember this? All right, what is the conversion? Okay, how do I remember this? I like to show you on a chart again. Okay, so we start from milliseconds because that's smaller than a second. All right, and then we move on to how about we do nanoseconds on the left hand side because that's the smallest right now. Okay, and then we have a microsecond. Then we'll have a millisecond. Alright, so the chart will be, alright, if I want to convert from a larger unit to a smaller unit, we multiply. And this time is all multiplied by 1000. And then if you want to convert this one backwards, alright, nanoseconds to microseconds, and then to milliseconds, we divide by 1000. So that's how you do the conversion. Alright, so it's pretty straightforward. So that means if you want to convert from millisecond to nanoseconds, you just have to times by 1000, and then times by 1000 again. Alright, to convert back into, nanoseconds. And of course, I can show you another one which is seconds, which I don't have the space to write here, so I'm just going to write here seconds. And then from milliseconds to seconds, we divide by 1000 again. Alright. And then if you want to go backwards, we multiply by 1000. Alright, so this is the unit conversion. Alright, the next one, the 24 hours time. Alright, so 24-hour time shows the number of hours and minutes after midnight. Okay, so after midnight, if you think about 0000 is the midnight, then 24-hour time is after midnight. Okay, so it shows the hours and the minutes. Usually we represent 24 hours using 4-digit system, okay? So it's not like, 7 o'clock, you just write 7 a.m. That's slightly different, okay? All right, so the way we write a 24-hour or 24-hour format is we use a 4-digit system. So that means, like, for example, 7 a.m. in the morning, what we need to do is we need to write this one into like 4 digits, okay? So remember, 24-hour time shows the number of hours and minutes after the midnight, okay? After the midnight. So after midnight will be 0700. You don't need to put any comma, all right, in between the, any colon symbols or any comma in between those numbers, the digits, okay? So 0700, and that is 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, all right. So what about like in the afternoon? All right, what about 2:30 in the afternoon? So 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. What do we do here? Well, if we want to convert from p.m. to 24-hour format, what we need to do is just simply plus 12. All right, so 12 plus 2 it becomes 14, and then we just copy down the 30 here. So 14:30 is equivalent to 2:30 in the afternoon. All right, so 2:30 p.m. So that should be quite easy for everyone to remember. Okay, now what about like a noon, alright? Alright, so the midday, what about noon? So that is 12, because that's 12 hours after the midnight, okay? So 12:00, okay? So 12:00. And then the midnight is pretty easy, it's just 4 zeros, and then it's really easy. Okay, so that's the 24-hour time. Now on your calculator, there is a special button that you do need to know how to use to convert, okay, degree, minutes and seconds, or hours, minutes and seconds. So these are some conversions on your calculator you can use to help you to do the conversions between the times. It's pretty easy. Okay, so the key on the calculator, I call that a bubble key. So let me draw this key for you. So calculator just next to the negative sign, okay, there's a key looks like this. All right, that is a very important key. All right, that key helps you to convert from hours to minutes and seconds. All right, so just unit conversion is really easy, so you don't have to do pen and paper calculation at all. So for an example, if I want to ask you about like what's the 2.35 hours equals to in hours and minutes and seconds. Now here is a pretty interesting question. 2.35 hours, right? 2.35 hours. It's not exactly 2.3 hours, it's 2.35 hours. So we do know that's 2 hours. But the problem here is, how do we know the minutes and the seconds? Well, we can times by everything by like 60, we can do the calculation. But what you can do on a calculator is really amazing now, okay? All you have to do is press your calculator, 2.35 like you normally enter the number. And then you press this key, the bubble key. Okay? Just press that key. If you press 2.35 and press that key, because the first time you press that key, you're basically entering an hour, all right? So that means 2.35 hour. So once you finish that, all right? So you press 2.35, bubble key, and because you don't know anything about minutes, you don't know anything about seconds, so that's it, and you just press equal. All right? And then a calculator, for my calculator, display this answer here. That's what the calculator display. All right, so what does that mean? That means the first number you see is hours. All right, and the second number you see here is minutes. And the last one is the second. So now the calculator basically convert everything for you automatically. The calculator says 2.3 hours is equivalent to 2 hours and 21 minutes. All right, so that you can put 21 minutes here and 0 seconds there. So that's what the 2.35 hours is equivalent to. All right, so the next one, if you want to convert, like for example, 4.75 hours to hours, minutes, and seconds, you can use exactly the same method. All right, to work out the answer. All right, how do we do the backwards calculation? So for example, all right, let me just create another page. So for example, if I know the time is 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 14 seconds. So if that's the time I have, right, I want to convert this time into just hours. How do I do that? Right, just hours. So obviously, you know, it's not going to be an exact number, right? You're going to get decimal numbers here. So how do I do it without using pen and paper, just using a calculator? Well, the way you do it is, again, using that bubble key. All right, so all you have to do is press the bubble key every single time and when there's an hour, minute, and seconds. So the first thing you do is you press 2, because that's 2 hours, right? And then you press the bubble key. All right, so that just means 2 hours. So the calculator will remember this is 2 hours. All right, don't press anything else. All right, just press 2, bubble key, and after you finish that, your calculator will display something like this on your calculator. And then you keep going, right? So 21 minutes. So we'll do press 21 minutes. Oops. And to make this one a bit better. Okay. All right. 21 minutes. Now you press the bubble key again. All right. Remember the bubble key every single time you press it. All right. It means hour, minute, and second. The first time you press it is hour. The second time you press it, it becomes minute. And the last time you press it, it becomes second. So that 14 seconds. So you press the bubble key one more time. Yes, you do need to press 3 times. And then that becomes seconds. So on your calculator display, you are probably going to see this. Okay, so 21 bubble key. You're going to see this little like square on top of the number. 14 little square. Okay. All right, now once you've finished that, you just press equal. Okay, press equal. And let's see what the calculator gives you. All right, so your calculator will give you another display after you press equal. This is what the display the calculator gives to you. Like this. Okay, oh, sorry. 14, I need to do one more time. All right, so that's the display the calculator gives it to you. All right, now, but the problem here is, I know this is 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 14 seconds. I just want to convert it into hours. How do I do it? What you need to do is to press that bubble key one more time. All right, so just one more time, and you can see the answer becomes 2.3538 recurring. Okay, that becomes the answer. So that means 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 14 seconds is equivalent to 2.3538 recurring hours. Okay, that's how you do it. However, you can use this in an example, and maybe you try use your calculator to see if you can convert that back into hours, or if you have the hours, you want to convert it into minutes and seconds. Okay, so that's all I want to teach you this lesson. It's all about unit conversions within time, and you know, you can use your calculator to do the calculations there. Right. That's all. Thank you.